What's up, you guys? This is your psycho host, Psycho Alex, and this is Shenanigans and More. Shenanigans and More. And I can finally put my hair up, you guys. Isn't it cute? Oh my god, it's growing so much. So fast. Um, Not relevant at all, but hope you guys are good. Today is a hot summer, nice hot day in Santa California, and I am dripping. So if you see me sweating, please don't mind that. It's hot in California. It's a midsummer day and I'm melting. But today for our actual episode, I'm super thrilled about it. I already gave you guys a little clip about what's happening and what we're going to talk about today, and it's about red flags. And what are these damn red flags, and what are some things that we sometimes ignore because we're so in love when we first meet someone and everything else just seems so great that we ignore the red flags. We walk around with the covered face, covered of our eyes, and don't want to see them. But sometimes those same red flags are the ones that end up breaking us up. So I went over and actually asked a bunch of people. Can't give you a number. Terrible at it, but I can actually tell you that a lot of people actually had something to say about what are people's red flags. The funniest part was actually when it took a couple of people a minute to figure out what was their red flags. And as I mentioned on the little short, what are some of your red flags as well for this episode? We're not perfect, you guys. We're not perfect. We have red flags. We have some things that some people may not tolerate that just don't seem like a big deal. We have some issues that we have to work on that some people have learned that they're not okay with accepting anymore. And that's okay, because at least one, that gives you perspective as to what you're going to fix about yourself for your next relationship. And two, if you don't, that's probably why you're going to keep breaking up with people. So what are some red flags you have seen on other people that you can't tolerate in a relationship, friendship, even relationship with family members? That's the thing. Sometimes we don't think that these things matter in other relationships, but a lot of times also can reflect because you're still you, right? So if you are you and you like to go out with people and don't pitch in, even your friendships are not going to like that. Maybe especially your relationship, but even your friendships are not going to like that. Even your relatives are going to have something to say about that. So, you're still you, and that's still going to be a definition of who you are as a person. Maybe sometimes you don't do it when you're with your friends, but you definitely do it with your partner, And as I mentioned, what are some of your red flags? Be honest. So what are red flags? And what I was able to kind of gather, or what is my own definition about a red flag, is there are these traits of things that can be in your personality, behavior, psychology, or unhealed trauma that will cause a problem in your relationship, friendships, and relationships with relatives. I can't talk. For example, possessiveness and jealousy. That's just one I wanted to mention. And then here are some of the things that people that I asked actually told me. If they ask for money, I'm assuming this is in regards to relationships, but I guess you can also see it in relationships with family members. If they're just coming around to you and always asking you for money, that's a little shady, right? It's a little mysterious. It's a little like, why? You only come to me when you need money. But of course, and more surprisingly to me, when you're in a relationship, if your partner tends to ask you for money, and I'm not saying like you guys are married and this is a relationship and you are the sole provider, obviously they're gonna ask you for money. But even then, if they constantly ask you for money for expenses that are not particularly of your regular income and whatever regular expenses or whatever the fuck. This one caught me off guard because apparently that's my red flag. Talking about their ex unprovoked. Guilty as charged. I didn't even pay attention. I didn't even realize that I do this, but I do. I've been told before, not by people in actual relationships with me, but I've been told before by people from my personal life who get to see me and get to know me, how I am in relationships, and they've told me that not to bring the exes up, and I don't see nothing wrong with it, only because people don't understand it. And now I'm gonna have that in my mind and not bring people up of my exes unless we're talking about exes. But people don't understand that when I get over someone, I get over them. Me bringing them up has nothing to do with comparing you to them, has nothing to do with still thinking about them, still wanting to get back with them. Like, no. I end relationships. When I end relationships and situationships, is because I'm already done. I'm already over you. I already don't think of you that way. I already don't like your dick, vagina, whatever it is that you have. I'm over it. I'm over our relationship, our situationship, whatever it is that we had. It's done. It doesn't attract me. It doesn't turn me on. It doesn't mean anything to me anymore. And if I'm bringing people up, it's because it could be of like a funny memory or a situation or something that I can actually bring forth with saying, I've been there, I've done that, or I've seen that, I know that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm bringing them up, like, because I'm still not over them. But can it be different? Can other people, I'm actually seeing that other people may actually not like that or not find that to be a right reason to bring people up. So, red flagged. Moving too fast, too quickly. I'm that kind of person. Fuck, are these all for me? Did you guys just like point it all out at me? I think I sometimes do that, but that's only because I'm a Scorpio. I know you guys hate it when I bring it up, but I feel like I like to move fast too quickly when I really like someone. When I'm really, really into someone, I'll really like want to text you all day, want to be with you all the time, want to like hang out, I'm not gonna say have a baby, obviously, but like, I just want to spend the more time with you. But that may not be too bad. I mean, other people could be like, let's get married next month, and like been dating for 6 months, that could possibly be a red flag. Bad hygiene. I actually got this from a couple of you, and I was really like, I just died laughing. I'm a ghost. Ooh, no. It was really funny to think about that because I hadn't really thought about it, but I guess it's true. Like, if that's something that's important to you, I mean, it better be. I mean, it's important to me, and I think I've actually dated like once or twice, like people who I was just like, you're not who I thought you were. You look like you would shower every day, and now you don't. It's a little weird. So I can see that for sure. Pushy guys. As in like no means no. If you're trying to date someone and you're still being like pushy and pursuant, and one thing would be like, they like you and you guys are talking and stuff, but another thing is just, again, no means fucking no, and sorry. Next. Keep moving. This is particularly a female talking about a man, but it could really has no gender, but men who make fun of other females. And that's only because you don't know if he makes fun of you when you're not there. Or that only goes to show who he is as a man, as a person. Again, there's no gender. If you make fun of other people and you think you're better than them, and or that's why you make fun of them, like, it's just a little, no, not appealing. She's so funny. She said Jordans. Any man who wears Jordans is a liar. And it's funny to me because I know too many men who wear Jordans. But Women can be liars too. And it has nothing to do with shoes. Um, Always being on the phone. Now, this is really interesting because we are a generation that lives on their fucking phone. And sure, I try to change that. I try to give myself a timeout sometimes. I've actually shut down my social media so that I don't I'm not on it because it becomes like super addicting. Um but I don't think that's what they're referring to. When we're referring to being on the phone all the time, it's like if you're with me um and we don't get to spend a lot of time together, or even if we do, but you're with me and you tend to be on your phone or and acting a little shady or a little hiding, a little something, like it's gonna look suspicious. It's gonna look a little sus, and it's gonna be a flag. Um, Especially if we're like on a first or second date and you're on the phone instead of wanting to talk to me, like flagged. Trust issues. See, and this one goes back to past trauma. If you have had relationships and you're out dating, if you had relationships where you can't trust people and now you're out dating, and that is still already a trigger for you when you're just dating, when you're just talking, who are you talking to, who are you texting, and da 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 da, like that probably means you're not ready to go out dating. That probably means you're not ready to go and expose yourself to wanting to get to know other people. It probably means you still have a lot of healing to do, a lot of work to do, a lot of you know, I don't know, self-reflection. And not everybody's gonna be a cheater. And this goes to also like people who always say all men are the same. Like, no sis, you just pick them. You just pick them that way. Not everyone's gonna be the same. Not everyone's gonna want to like hurt you, or that you can't trust them. You just have to heal yourself and look for a better person. Uh, Having a bad temper. Yes. um, Again, we go back to the healing and the processing and taking care of yourself, taking classes if that's what you need, finding an outlet that can help you so that you don't rush your temper, and you reflect that when you're with people and with a partner or dating and stuff. And that's probably important. It also goes back to the taking care of yourself and getting the help you need if you really go from 0 to 100 because somebody looked at you. Doesn't mean that that's what the person said and that's what they do. I'm just saying that there are other people out there who may have similar issues that have bad temper. Being blunt, too honest, too straight up. Again, guilty. People don't like it when I tell them things because I'm too straightforward. But, and they always tell me that I have no filter. But if that's just who you are, then that's just who you are. I don't know if that's necessarily a red flag. But I like to be me, and I like to be honest, and I like to tell you what I think. And if that's gonna bother you, then that's a red flag for me. Just kidding. But being too honest, being too blunt, being too straightforward, and people not liking that, like, it might be played into that. People who don't accept they are wrong. I think it goes back to, like, understanding that there are other people with other points of views and that don't necessarily, no, actually, I think it's more about maturity, understanding that you may not always be right, and that's okay. Truly. But, you know, you have to accept it sometimes when you're wrong. My favorite way of accepting is, I suspected I was always right. No, I'm just kidding. When people don't know how to take criticism. I swear these are all for me. I feel that it's really difficult for me to accept criticism because I don't think I've received throughout my life not positive criticism. How would you say it? Like, what's the word? There's a word. Constructive criticism. It's always kind of been like, shamed upon. Like the things that I do, or the things that the criticism is always like, I can't believe you do that, or why would you do that, and a little bit more of like reprimanding instead of actually saying like, if you probably thought about this or worked with this, like, you know, things will be better, and don't think about it this way, don't think about it that way. Like, and it even comes to stuff I do for the channel. Like I always I was told like a while back to do shorter videos, and it really upset me. It really upset me because I thought they were wrong, and also because going back to the episodes, I realized that it wasn't even about the length of the episodes, it was about the content. Because when I did shorter episodes, they were still getting less views than the longer episodes, and it was just about the content. So they were wrong. But but I'm not good at taking criticism, because I feel like I was never really taught to take criticism, or giving constructive criticism without it being like hurtful and more like attacking. Or maybe that's just how I take it. But that's also my Scorpio. Just kidding. Closed-minded. Being closed-minded, not being open to understanding that not everybody thinks like you, that the world doesn't revolve around you, or that you're not always right, and that things are different for everyone. Not speaking when you're mad. Can't express emotions. This, I'm gonna talk about it eventually, but I feel like this is something to do with like being able to open to communication, and again, not being taught how to communicate your emotions, how to express them, how to tell people that when they do this, you make me feel this type of way. And a lot of times what happens is that we tend to express our emotions once we're already like to the end of it, and two, when they don't come out right. They come out like accusations, or they come out like you're angry and you're bursting with all this shit that you never fucking said before, and now all that shenanigans is just gonna hurt the person, and now you're gonna regret it and all this other shit. So if you were to find the right time and the best way to express how you're feeling, once you're not mad at each other too, like if you don't do it when you're mad, like that would definitely, you know, sit down, have a fucking coffee or beer or something, and just be like, you know, babe, sometimes when you do this, you make me feel upset, and this is why I react this way, and yada yada. But you know, it is what it is. The way they react when upset, and how they treat you. We go back to the anger issue. Taking accountability for our own actions. If you catch yourself like this, actually the red flag is actually really important as a thing too, that if you're dating someone and you have like a quick reaction, and you see that they are upset and at something you said or at something you did, and then they treat you bad, or about the waiter doing something, or saying something, and then they have a bad reaction towards you, that should definitely be a red flag. If they treat someone bad, and then what makes you think that they're not going to treat you bad when you do something that they don't like, or when something happens and they have an opinion about what you did and how you did it, how you handled it, which sometimes can also lead to domestic violence. Just saying. Patterns, behavior. I am a fan of patterns. To me, if there's always a change in your behavior, in your pattern of who you are, what you do, when you do it, I don't expect you to have a solid routine for your entire life. I'm just saying that if you don't usually take your phone to the bathroom with you and you start, it could also be that you just started watching a really good show and you're watching it, but it could also be that you're hiding something, and that there's a new reasoning to why you're doing certain things, and now your pattern has changed. communication, but not being receptive. Again, understanding and expressive, then communication won't work. And the reason why this is important, I want to do a whole communication episode, by the way. This is exciting! Because I'm the type that I'm always preaching to you guys. Oh yeah, therapy, taking, couples therapy could be a thing to make a relationship work, and therapy. But what happens in a in your common day relationship thing is that I may finally find the courage to tell you how I feel about, let's just say, babe, every time you like a girl's picture on Instagram, it makes me feel insecure because I don't look nothing like them. And it makes me feel that you're desiring other people, or you want me to look that way when I'm not going to look that way. Right? But if all you're hearing is, you're always liking that girl's pictures and blah 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 blah, and you're just this and you're just that, and you're cheating on me because you're liking, and you think that you're being attacked because you're only liking a girl's picture, that's not gonna work, right? Because then you're gonna blow up on me telling me you're always fucking telling me shit, you're always talking about this and talking about that, and it doesn't mean anything to me, and this and this and that. What would that cause? Me to never want to tell you how I feel about it again, about anything. And because I'm going to feel that every time we talk, it only leads to a fight that could have been resolved if you would have been more receptive to what I was actually trying to tell you, instead of you taking it offensive and going off and telling me how I'm always jealous, I'm so possessive, and this and that and that and that. And that's just an example. And it goes beyond anything, like anything that your person wants to communicate with you and you are not receptive about it. When you want to share a very dark, deep secret, or something that involves with your past, and something that you may never have told anyone else, if they are not willing to listen or open to understand what you went through, then that will definitely shut you down to never want to tell anyone anything ever again, or to that person. So I want to get into that most definitely, and hopefully with other people, because I've been talking to them about it, but I don't hold my breath for that anymore. Sneaky or being told not to post pictures of our first date, like not being able to tag your person, and not being okay with you posting that you're together, or that you went out, or tagging them, or anything like that. The social media world is so bizarre, it's so annoying, but nonetheless, not being welcome to being seen in public, or wanting to only hang out at certain times and certain places and things like that, that's sneaky. That's the red flag. This one was really funny to me because I know that there's some girls, no judgment, but I don't know what the deal is, and you guys can tell me. We can make an episode about it. But this person said, women who wear too much makeup. I want to know how you look when you wake up. And I don't know if it was particularly because this person was probably betrayed, and or I don't know, maybe he didn't really he felt catfished after the girl removed the makeup, but he doesn't trust females with too much makeup, because he wants to be able to see your natural beauty. And I'm not really sure. We might need to actually make a continuation for this one. Not being an emotional person. So, again, not being open and not being expressive of their emotions, and never really knowing if your person really likes you, because they're not expressive. The person's demeanor. And other people said that they love too hard. So falling for persons really quickly can be seen as a red flag. So assuming too quickly. Again, communication. If you see something, if you catch, I'm not just gonna give you an example. It may not genders don't matter here, okay? But I'm just gonna say, if you catch your man looking at another woman, or they say hello, they talk about something, and you're far away, you can't even hear what the fuck they're saying, but you're already assuming shit, right? And you assume too quickly, you don't say anything, you take it home, and then you fucking explode, and you bring that out, and you talk about, oh yeah, because you were talking to this woman, and she's probably your side, and this and that, and that. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, who? I don't even remember. I actually got told by someone that men look at people or check out people, and it means nothing. Like, they'll forget what that person looked like 5 seconds later. You may see them seeing a girl pass by, and they're definitely taking her out, and then you talk to them about lunch, the kids, last night's argument, spaghetti, whatever, and they'll completely forget what that person looked like. It's just like in their nature to like just look. And we can't lie, women look. Trust me, we look. I'll be checking them out when I'm at the gym. Woo, girl. But it doesn't mean the same thing to us as it means to them, and it's like irrelevant, gone, forgotten. So when you assume too quickly and you start to build up this like scenarios in your mind that mean nothing, that's a fucking red flag. You need to work on that, sis. Let's see. Being boring, not talking. I was like, what? Because I think that would just show that you're not interested, right? If you're just not interested, then don't waste my time. Move on. Thank you, next. Goodbye. Not being loyal. And there's so many ways that can be explained, and so many things that fall into loyalty, and it also depends on how people view loyalty, but it's one of them. Being conceited, stuck up attitude. I think this also falls into the too much makeup. Loving yourself and caring about yourself is one thing, but wanting to create this facade and looking like you are the highest shit of the highest shit doesn't go well very well with some people. Shouldn't go well with anyone, but you know. Not being kind. I think this one's really cool because it's actually one of the things that I've actually seen with people and commented on. If you're not nice to a waitress or a waiter, like that goes to show your manners, that goes to show who you are, that goes to define not just your personality, but how you would treat my children. I don't even have children, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it could show so much of who you are as a person when you mistreat people around you, not just your server, but like homeless people and anything. And if you're not kind, thank you, next. When someone said that their red flag was to be too shy and not being vocal, and again, we go back to not just communication, but also like you might miss out on opportunities, or you may be seen as a red flag if you're not expressive. Taking advantage, and this goes to show like on over ordering, when you're just trying to do it on purpose. Like if you are you know they're gonna pay for dinner and you're trying to over order. Like if you're not gonna order something, like if you're not gonna order something that you would generally order for yourself when you pay for it, and you can tell that you're over ordering, like someone will consider that a red flag. I would too. Shit, bitch, I'm paying. You gonna eat that? You gonna take it home? Bad humor. Now, bad humor can be a little tricky because it's more about that's your personality, and if people don't understand it, it could be seen as a red flag. If you're sarcastic, if you have like a really heavy humor or dark humor about death, about, you know, social issues. Like, if you don't understand that that's who your person is right off the bat, that might be seen as a red flag, unfortunately. um Setting high expectations, expecting your partner to be, or your person or your friend to be this type of person, and then they're not. Like, you can be seen as you're demanding too much for a friendship, you're demanding too much for a relationship, and someone can consider that a red flag for sure. um Comparing your previous partners to your new partner, I think might be part of the bringing the ex up, but if you do something like that, people can probably see you as a red flag. Uh, Again, if people may think that you're still into your last person. Being too needy. What happens when I need space? I think that goes to show like jealousy or possessiveness, or just cleanliness, wanting too much too quickly, and stuff like that. I don't know. I think, well, yeah. I think I've had a dude, but this is when I was like in high school. I just felt like he was too clingy. Like, he wanted too much time, always wanted to spend the time together, and always wanted to hang out and all this stuff. And he really liked me. He was really cute, actually. I thought, like, dang, I can do that. But, like, I don't know, it was too little too much, and I needed to be able to do my own thing, hang out with my friends, and things like that. And this was before I could, like, go out on my own and do my own things. Hold something against you, like I got this for you, I did this for you, and you're not doing this for me. You don't love me if you don't hang out with me all the time when I paid for this for you, or I drove you XYZ, I lent you my car, I whatever. And this can go, again, friendships, relationships with your family members, and or your actual partners. And, like, I don't know, I would never want someone to do that for me. Like, and I wouldn't want to do that to them either. I don't think that that's, like, I already don't like that with people in general, and I already don't like that with family in general, that I could never. Watch me tell you guys that happened to me. I wouldn't accept that, and I wouldn't like that in a partnership. Like, I wouldn't want to be able to. That would definitely be a red flag with me, and I would totally kick you to the curb. Let's see. Talking bad about people when they aren't there. That goes another one. Like, I've removed myself from family places, from family reunions and parties and things like that, when I can hear about people talking bad about other people that they would never say to their face. Again, I have no filter, and that's called a red flag for me. People fucking want to talk shit to me when I'm just straightforward. But if I won't say it to your face, and I don't think that this is something that about you, that I'm gonna talk about it behind your back, like, I find that rude. And people tend to talk bad about people when they're not there because it's so easy and it's gossipy and stuff like that. But if you wouldn't talk to them and tell them to their face, then what does that make you? Being stingy with food. And this is one of my, I want to say, pet peeves, sort of, that I hated. I'm bringing up my ex, you guys. Luckily, I have no boyfriend at the time, so he can't say anything about this. Being stingy with food. What I mean with that is, again, we are not gonna overindulge and overspend because because someone is paying for us. But I hated it. I hated it with a passion, especially if I had money. To be told that I had to order from the dollar menu, or to be told that we would have to go to only certain places because you didn't want to spend. I get that. Maybe you're trying to save for a ring. Could have been what he was doing. But you don't tell me no when it comes to food. I am not a person that'll overindulge. I'm not a person that'll overbuy what I don't plan on eating. I but I also do not like to be told no or be limited to what I can eat, because I think one of the things, like with me just growing up, I'm gonna give you guys too much. I gotta go. It's too much time. But like, if food was always scarce in growing up. So when I came to the United States, the natural thing happened was that I was hoarding food, and I overgained weight, and I gained weight even though I was a child, unconsciously, not understanding that the reason why was because I was hoarding food, because I had never had access to so much food. So growing up, people back home tell you, you gotta eat that because there's people who don't have food, and da 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 da. So you eat what you serve. And here, you get to eat anything you want, and people get to throw it away and toss it in the trash. And you're just sitting there like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna eat it even if I'm not full, because I'm supposed to eat what's in my plate. I'm not gonna overeat. So, me having issues with food in general and have been limited for so long, it wasn't that long, I was only 9 years old, but having that embedded in my mentality, but then again, growing up here, I was still limited. Anyways, now, if I fucking want something, I'm gonna order it. I'm gonna eat it. I'm not gonna limit myself from saying, you may laugh about this, but only rich people eat at In-N-Out. I've told you guys before where I used to think that only people with money used to eat at Olive Garden. It's Olive Garden, you guys. It's not that much. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I always felt like there was so much limitations to food for us, that now if I can afford it, and even if I can't afford it, but I fucking want to do it, like, I'll fucking do it. I'll save up or do whatever the fuck I gotta do. But if that's what I fucking want, that's what I'm gonna go and eat and indulge it, you know? So being limited to food and being stingy with food was one of my things that I was like, I can't marry you. Why am I gonna marry you? You're always gonna limit what I want to eat and how I want to eat it, especially if I have money. Just because your machismo doesn't let you have money. Oh, that's another one. Machismo. Out the window. Don't come at me with your machismo shit. Grow up, learn, evolve, get better, and learn of the new world. You know, equal roles and whatnot. No. And controlling, controlling in the way that I still do. I personally don't like this. Some people do, and that's okay. As long as you share that with your partner, that's fine. But I personally don't like it when, especially on dates and stuff, when people order for me. And I think that goes back to what I was telling you guys about, like, food and all that stuff. I'm my own person. I make my own decisions. I don't need anybody else to order for me. If it's cute, you order what I like, and da-da-da-da-da. We've known each other, you know what I like, maybe. But not when I feel like I'm being controlled, and I'm being told what to eat and how to eat it and why I can't have what I want. I'm a brat. But, you know. Oh, another one someone mentioned was being a brat. Like, when you are the baby of the house and you're used to being told yes. There's no for you in your world, and you expect people to treat you the same way. Sorry, honey. Plane crash, Earth to you. That's not always gonna happen, and you may actually have problems down the line with partnerships if they don't always do what you want and you get your way, because that's not how the world works. I'm sorry to tell you, but it's definitely an interesting red flag. Someone else mentioned their friends. Like, if your friends behave a certain way, if your friends do certain things, That might also give away how you are and who you are, and at least who you are when you're with them. That would definitely be a thing. If you're different when you're with them than when you're with your person or with your family, like, that might be considered a red flag. And I'm not saying like you don't get to express yourself differently, you don't get to be, you know, I don't know. But if you are a certain offensive way when you're with certain people and not with the other, like, that might be a red flag. Anyways, tell me what your red flag is, and tell me what red flags you don't accept, and tell me if you liked any of the red flags I brought up. And love you guys so much. I'll be definitely working, I am working in more episodes, and I'm sorry they're taking so much longer. It's honestly, unfortunately, not even the privacy anymore. I have had time to do these things, these episodes, but it's a lot. There's always a lot in the background going on, and then also I get fucking super depressed because I see that there's like no views. But love you guys. I will promise to bring more really fun content and possibly less organized, because I keep hearing criticism. Not sure if it's positive criticism, but I keep getting criticism as to how the next episode should be and what else I should include and yada 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 yada. But love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and share, subscribe, and send us some love.